I don't want to say I've had like an awakening.
Just all about the puns today.
Man, that one wasn't even on purpose. I don't want to say I've had like an awakening, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I've definitely had my eyes opened a little bit more to how important sleep is, especially in the life of a elite cyclist or even just, your everyday cyclists. I mean, when you talk to, so there's this contradiction, like when you talk to athletes and coaches, they rank sleep as one of the highest, most important things of recovery and adaptation and performance. Yet at the same time, we don't see coaches and athletes fostering a focus of getting good sleep. And I think maybe there's something cultural with this too, where like we live in a society that prides itself on lack of sleep. Like how many times have we heard people brag like on how little sleep they get because they're just grinding away at both ends of the day, So I think there's a little bit of that, like, when we see people who sleep too much, we instantly think, oh, they're lazy. In fact, in this book, it talks about teenagers, and it says oftentimes parents get too focused on what teenagers are missing out by sleeping, when really they should be thinking about what they're actually getting from sleeping, because teenagers need to sleep a lot. So like just a different perspective on sleep, I think, is probably required to be able to get a better night's sleep. So yeah, I mean.
So Drew, you're the kind of dude who you need to wake up early in the morning, because if you don't wake up early in the morning, you feel like you're not being productive.
Exactly.
And you set an alarm, even if you don't like you set an alarm for whatever, 7:30, I don't know, even if you don't need to wake up at that time.
Absolutely.
Have you changed your opinion on that or no?
I'm preaching to myself. I don't think waking up early is bad. It's just like, how much time are you spending in bed? How much of that time are you actually sleeping? Which the Whoop thing, that's been the biggest thing that it's pointed out to me, is like, even though I'm in bed for 7.5, 8 hours, I'm not even getting 7 hours of sleep usually. So like, that's been a pretty rude awakening again. Because yeah, like I might be in bed from 10:30 to 6:30, which is 8 hours, but I'm only getting 7 hours of sleep because it takes you time to fall asleep. You wake up throughout the night. So that's been, I've definitely like started to think, okay, now I need to like bookend both of those with 30 minutes or something, to where I'm actually spending like closer to 8.5, 9 hours in bed and actually getting closer to 8 hours of sleep. And like, you've already heard me mention 8 hours as like the golden standard. And that is, like, I'd say for athletes, 8 hours is like the minimum. If you're getting less than 8 hours, and we can go into this now or later, less than 8 hours is not ideal. I'd say anywhere from 8 to 10 hours of actually sleeping, not just time in bed. So really that's like 9 to 11 hours of time in bed. Because athletes, obviously, like all of the ingredients that go into how much sleep you need are like strain, sleep debt, and your circadian rhythm, I think. Like there's a couple other things, but those are like the main things about why you sleep, how long, or like how many hours do I need to sleep tonight? Well, depends on how hard you went today. Are you lacking sleep from the last couple of days? Are you in a different time zone? Things like that. And obviously, like the harder we work out, the more sleep we need. And that's the neat thing about the Whoop device. We're not like sponsored by Whoop or anything like that. I'm just pointing out some of the cool features it has, is that it measures your day strain and then suggests a certain amount of sleep that you should get based off of that strain. So yeah, I mean, it's a helpful thing to have that right there. It tells you like, so back to Dylan's, like if I'm going to wake up at 6:30 or 7 a.m., the Whoop app literally tells me if you want to be able to perform tomorrow, you need to be in bed by 9:26 tonight or whatever the time is. So if I'm in bed by that time, I'll get the right amount of sleep.